everybody, it's Gypsy. Well, before we get started with today's video, anybody who's a techie out there who could help me with this, my son and daughter-in-law bought me a tripod for my phone so I could do videos. And then they also bought me this lapel microphone, but I can't get it to work with my phone. It's one of these that you put on your shirt, and then this is, it plugs into my phone. And it won't do anything. The light on here will light up. This one will not. It does not seem to be working with my phone. Now, the phone I have is an Android Pixel 5a. If anybody knows, I don't even know if this is compatible or not. Maybe that's the problem. My phone seems to have a problem with anything that has to do with Bluetooth because my tripod came with a remote to start my videos, and I paired it and everything, and it still won't work. In fact, I received a pair of earbuds too that are wireless. I paired it, it shows it's paired, and that won't work. So I cannot figure out what is wrong. So any of you out there who has knowledge of this sort of thing, if you can answer in the comments below, I'd really appreciate it. So anyways, on with today's video. As you know, I made a salve for my sister who has very bad arthritis in her hands, and she has problems with her feet and stuff, for pain relief. She's my guinea pig right now. I'm trying different things. So I told you I was gonna make her a liniment. So that's what we're doing today. Now the liniment has to sit for 4 weeks, so it works out perfectly because I'm trying to get to Ohio for the holidays so I can bring it to her. Or, well, it's a liquid in a large jar. I will have to, hopefully, my son and daughter-in-law will stop by here on their way to Ohio, and I can give it to them to bring up. So anyways, let's get started with this. Now, the definition of a liniment is a liquid or a semi-liquid that is applied to the skin for like pain relief or anti-swelling, anti-inflammatory. Okay, so what we're actually doing at the beginning is kind of like a tincture, except you're not heating it up. Okay, so while I'm putting these in the jar, I'm going to tell you the purpose of the herbs that I'm using. So what I'm going to do is I'm using this jar here. Okay, so I'm going to open this up, and I'm just going to measure all my herbs into the jar. Very simple, it's very easy. If you're going to use, these are all dried. If you're going to use fresh, use 3 times as much as what I'm telling you, okay? Fresh herbs have a lot of water in them still, where obviously the dried herbs don't. So the water in a fresh herb kind of dilutes it down, so you have to use more. In fact, my mom, who isn't into what I do, but she's into cooking, I asked her when I was very young, maybe a teenager, I don't know, maybe a young adult, and I said, well, why do you have to use so much more with fresh? And she's the one who taught me that. So anyways, what we're going to start with first is chamomile. Okay, so we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of chamomile into this jar. Now, chamomile, when we drink it as tea, we think of it as a calmative or a tincture. It's a calmative, okay? Helps you to relax. In this case, when you're using it for arthritis or sore muscles or whatever, it's an anti-inflammatory. So what we're going to do here is we're going to measure out, 2 tablespoons and put that in this jar, our empty one, and it is clean. Okay, so we have 2 tablespoons in there of chamomile. Next, we are going to put in rosemary. Now, rosemary is good for pain relief. It increases your blood flow, and it also is an anti-inflammatory. I have my notes here because some of these, like rosemary, does a lot. So rosemary, again, in here, 2 tablespoons. If I can get it open. All right. So we've got one. I have to get the angle of my camera better. I have to practice with this. I tried to put it down more so you can see what I'm doing, but it's maybe I just have the thing too high. I can't tilt it any more than that. That's 2 of rosemary. Then we want 2 of lavender. Again, we think of lavender as a calmative. You drink it as a tincture or tea, whatever, and it relaxes you. Okay, in this case, using it in a liniment, it is good for blood flow and cooling. So I'm going to put in, this is paining me because I'm almost out of lavender, 2. I have some more to process hanging in where I dry my herbs. So I got to do that, but yeah, seeing as the time of year it is, I'm not getting much lavender. I was going to buy some at my favorite herb store here up in Berlin. It is called Back to Basics. It was expensive, so I think I might have to for the winter buy some. Okay, and it's 2 of the lavender. So next we have peppermint. Okay, that one's a little bit more obvious. Great for pain relief and cooling. Peppermint, your mints are just really good for pain. So we're going to do, I'm looking at my notes, sorry, 2 tablespoons of peppermint. Oh, does this smell good? My favorite mint is spearmint. I love to drink spearmint tea with some honey. So we got 2 in there. As you can see, it's really building up. Okay, so that's peppermint. Next, we have ginger. Now, I have ginger, dried, sliced ginger root. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm using my ground ginger root. I don't think it matters which one, as long as you have your ginger root in there. Now, ginger root, we're putting in 2 tablespoons. Now, normally when you're drinking it, ingesting it, that's for your stomach. If you have a lot of like gassy stomach, bloating, ginger. I always recommend ginger with some honey in it. So anyways, but in this case, it is great for blood flow, and it's an antispasmodic if you're having cramps, muscle cramps, and also it's a warming herb. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of ginger. Okay. 2 tablespoons of ginger. Next is cayenne pepper. You can use the powder, or, and this is going to give it some extra heat, I ground these myself. This is powder, but it has the seeds in there. Okay, so this is going to be really good for this liniment. So this is only 1 tablespoon. Yeah, peppers are yeah, dime a dozen around here. I live in New Mexico. They're just all over the place, so it's very popular. So we're putting in 1 tablespoon of that. Okay, now the next step is you're going to put in your liquid. You can use rubbing alcohol. I think most people do. Or you can use witch hazel. I recommend witch hazel. I'm not a big proponent of rubbing alcohol, one, because of the smell. I don't like the way it smells. And it's very drying to your skin. Whereas witch hazel, it's an astringent, and it's better for your skin. It's not going to dry you out that much. So you can spray your liniment on several times a day without worrying about dry skin. And I'm making this for my sister. When you are in mine and my sister's age, you don't want to add any more dryness to your skin. So I recommend witch hazel, not rubbing alcohol. So this calls for 2 cups. You can just make sure all of your herbs are just covered. I want to make sure I have plenty for my sister. So what I'm going to do, I wish I had my canning ladle, not ladle, funnel in here. I don't know where I put it. I think I have it put away with my canning stuff, probably. It would make this easier, this part. And so anyways, I'm going to put in anywhere between 1 cup and 2 cups of my witch hazel. Okay. Oops. Got a little carried away here. I almost spilled this. All right. So this is 1 cup, okay? But you want it covered. It's not quite covering this. So I'm going to slowly pour in another cup to see what that's like. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with full 2 cups. Okay, so I'm going to put my lid on. All right. So you want to shake this up. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to label this, what it is, with the date, today's date, and the date it should be ready. Now, when you get to the 4-week mark, and while you have this waiting, you know, you have it steeping kind of for 4 weeks, you want to shake it frequently. Most of the time, I would recommend a very dark place to store this in, but knowing me, I'll forget if I don't see it. Like I made some homemade apple cider vinegar. I put it in there a couple weeks ago. I totally forgot it's in there. I got to go check it. Anyways, you shake it up like this, as you know, frequently. I have a kind of like a dark corner on my countertop. I'm going to put it there so I remember to shake it. So when I get to the date that this is ready, what I'm going to do is strain everything out. I'm going to put it through a fine mesh colander. I may even put like I have a piece of linen I use as cheesecloth. Might put that over my colander and then pour it out. Okay, then what you do is you put it in a spray bottle. Now this I got for my sister. You could get a bigger spray bottle if you want, but for her to carry around with her, like to work or wherever when she needs it. So what I'm going to do is after I strain this, I'm going to send this to her in a jar along with this empty. So this way she can fill it as she needs it. Okay. That's all there is to this. It's very, very simple. It's just, you know, you have to wait a month. So, I'm going to leave you with that. For those of you like my sister who live in a very cold climate, you might want to make yourself some of this and look back on my arthritis salve video. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.